water, even though they had chlorine in it. So, I mean, it depends the kind of parasites. And you don't want to drink chlorine. So you want to drink reverse osmosis or some kind of water, and you don't want to drink alkaline water that's been, where you take tap water and put it in a machine and it turns it into alkaline water. That could still have parasites in it. And a lot of people are using alkaline water machines for $4,000 but they use tap water in it.
So what should they use in that?
They should use reverse osmosis, or they should use spring water, like Fiji, from some country island where there's no humans.
Right. Contamination.
Where there's no kind of contamination. You could still have parasites, however.
I have a problem with plastic bottles. Do I use them? Unfortunately, I do. Most people do. I have the difficulty with plastic bottles to me is, you leave it in your car, the water absorbs some of the plastic, and it gets icky. We'll call that, icky water in a plastic bottle. The plastic leaches out, and
it's a hormone.
And it's a hormone, and it can
so if you're
wreak
looking
havoc.
So that's a whole other topic of
discussion, but
yes.
But even the bottles from Fiji, I would love them if they were in glass. But if they shipped water from Fiji in glass,
some of the new bottles are are BPA free. However, I don't recommend drinking out of any plastic. That's why I said reverse osmosis. You can get a unit for your house.
Now, just a few $100s.
It's a few $100s, and what they make is a reverse osmosis unit that then makes the water alkaline before you drink it. So it's a two-phase kind of thing, and that would be good. But we were talking about where you get it from.
But with the
shower filters, you need shower filters because you can absorb toxins through your skin.
And parasites.
And parasites. Everything you can absorb through your skin. Your skin, you have pores all over your skin, and you absorb things. So some microscopic parasites you can absorb. This is why very important that bath water is clean and water is clean, but the other places you can get it from is for those vegans who are going to freak out right now, but you can get it from eating vegetables that are not cleaned properly or are grown in Mexico where they use sewage as their watering system.
A lot of vegetables come from Mexico and other parts of South America.
But you can choose to not buy those.
But it's hard to find, even lettuce here in Southern California where we have growing season pretty much all year, but it's still hard to find.
Well, you can look at the little tags on the vegetables, and if you go to a health food store, it'll say what country it's from. Personally, I'm very careful about this as one who's had parasites in the past. We're going to be talking about other ways you can get it, but you can get it from vegetables from Mexico, or you can get it from people handling vegetables from any state, any country that are touching it and handling it, and maybe they have hepatitis or something and they don't wear gloves.
I find when I get vegetables, I wash them. Okay, I wash a carrot or a celery stick. I put it in my refrigerator unwashed because if I wash it, they tend to rot faster. Okay, I don't put tomatoes in my refrigerator, but all vegetables need to be thoroughly washed?
Well, here's a way to do it. Here's a way to take vegetables and even eggs, not, of course, when they're broken, but when they're in their shell, you put them separately. So you put all the vegetables in a sink, and you fill the sink up with clean water. And then you put 35% food-grade hydrogen peroxide. You take like a teaspoon of that and you put it in a huge sink of water before you put the veggies in and soak them, and it'll kill all the parasites.
And how long?
15 minutes.
Well,
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
That's
reasonable.
easy.
It's
that's reasonable. So let's say I don't do that. Where will those little parasite-y things find their way into my body?
And there's other places you can get it from. Eating
Oh.
out in restaurants, and you're eating salads and things like that, and you don't know where they bought their vegetables from.
Well, you and I ran into each other last week at Lassen's, which is a local health food store in Southern California. They're growing. They have one in Los Angeles now, maybe two. And my question is, most of their vegetables are organic. Whole Foods, which is national, they have
Some organic.
mostly organic.
Organic.
Organic. Do we still need to wash and be
Yes.
careful?
So even if they're organic, bugs don't see the signs that says this is an organic
they can't
vegetable, and
read.
you can't go near that. They can't read. So they're going to go everywhere. They're in the soil. They're in. So, but not only vegetables. If you eat raw meat, a lot of people these days are eating raw meat, raw fish, raw anything. It's possible to get it. Now, another way to kill the parasites is to steam them. If you have vegetables and if you wash it real good and you just steam them, the heat will kill them.
What about grilling them?
You can grill them to death. You can. You can.
Well, I don't want to burn them. I'll get yelled at. But so grilling, the dinner tonight is supposed to be grilled vegetables. Okay, that's what we were going to.
Well, so grilling them in heat will kill them.
Will kill them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually, so you can get them from waters, you can get them from food, organic food, non-organic, but non-organic food, you're also getting the pesticides in with that also.
Right. And
so why would you ever want to eat pesticides? That's why eating organic is very important, but then you want to clean the vegetables even though it's organic.
Got it.
You can get them from another person as well.
And you mentioned, somebody doesn't wash their hands and things like that.
Right.
What about the symptomology? And then we'll talk about where these little buggers hide in our body. What kinds of symptoms could I get? A bloated tummy?
Yes, you could get a bloated tummy.
She pointed and looked at me as she said that. That's okay, doctor.
So I was doing it to me.
Oh, okay.
But I don't happen to be bloated right now.
No, you're not.
I don't think so. But here's the thing, is they can cause fever, chills. They can cause people being constipated, having diarrhea. They can cause just not having normal bowel movements. They can cause where you don't have a complete bowel movement. They can cause itching on your skin. They can cause fatigue, tiredness, a person who's very fatigued, very tired all the time. Good chance is they have parasites. They could cause iron deficiencies in the person by consuming, they're eating the food, so you would be iron deficient possibly. They could
women over, I guess, after menopause, and men, I don't know what age, should not take vitamin supplements. I know, or should they?
Yes, they should. Everybody, if you look at our food today and what it contains, the nutrient value today compared to years ago, it's completely different. So taking supplements for men and women are very important, but it should be natural and it should be in veggie caps and it shouldn't have any kinds of preservatives and things like that in it. No magnesium stearate, no stearic acid, no coloring. It should be in a veggie cap, not a gelatin cap.
Cellulose cap, okay?
Yeah.
Cellulose
is vegetable.
Is vegetable.
Yeah.
What about the I lost my train of thought.
Well, that's important.
That is, and parasites can do that as well.
So what they can cause is prostate problems in men.
Okay.
They can cause inflamed prostate. They can cause the tiredness. You can have worms. Actually, this is pretty.
That's really icky.
And really icky.
Right.
So,
and that would be what you.
They could form a ball in your body, and they could look like a tumor on an X-ray. I've seen all of those things myself, not with me, but with clients, patients, yes,
right.
over the years. I've seen it. And other people have, other health providers have as well. So the thing is that you need to get it tested. You can get a stool test.
All right.
Okay.
Right. And you kind of, I've done that.
And
it's easy.
Right. It's very easy to do. And you get a little kit from a lab. And I have a lab that I use. And you get the kit home. You do it at home. You send in the specimen to the lab, and they send the report. They just mail it in. So, so even though it's not maybe the most pleasant thing to talk about, it's something that can give a person really good health if we know that they have parasites, and then we can kill the parasites without hurting the person. You don't want to go ahead and take flagellant things that can possibly hurt a person. There's many drugs. You can take something natural that gets the parasites. You can feel a difference right away and will eliminate it.
This is Natural Health Radio. I'm Mark Alyn, along with Dr. Teresa Dale.
You almost forgot my last name.
Yeah, this is a little grossy. I mean,
it's grossy? No, it's not gross. It's human. It's humanity.
Well, okay, but it's like bugs with me, okay?
Well, so it's not a spider. It's something inside of you, which is even worse than a spider.
Get it out. We're going to talk about that coming up.
We want to get it out.
I do. I want to get it out. I want to talk about the California College of Natural Medicine. You can find out more by going to cconm.com. That's cconm.com. If you're interested in a health career, this is a nonprofit 501(c) school that is here in California. It's licensed as a vocational school, and the dean, of course, is Dr. Teresa Dale. And the certifications you can get are amazing. There's financial aid if you're qualified. They have a faculty and a staff. There's courses you can take one at a time, two at a time, or you can actually just jump right into it and change your career.
Change your life.
And change your life and the life of others. So go to the California College of Natural Medicine, cconm.com, cconm.com for more information. What are some of the course structures that you can get, Dr. Dale?
Well, you can take a clinical nutrition training. You can become a clinical nutritionist, a homeopathic medical practitioner, a naturopathic practitioner. You can become a master herbalist. We're putting a new course in. We have some new courses we're going to be putting in very soon. One in natural pharmacy, so that people can learn how to make their own remedies.
A friend of mine is known as the herbal pharmacist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
very
nice. Dave Foreman, right? In the herbal pharmacist. Anyway, if you're interested in a career in the health field, in the what we call the alternative health field, the California College of Natural Medicine is something for you. Go to cconm.com for more information. We're talking about parasites. We're talking about we've talked about where they come from. We have talked about how we get them, usually by eating something, touching someone, or showering or bathing in water.
Or taking a bath in water that's not clean.
Right. And just because it has chlorine in it, it doesn't mean that it kills everything.
It necessarily.
Right.
Necessarily. Yeah, and the other thing what we were talking about also is the symptoms that people have. And one of the symptoms we didn't talk about was that when a person has psoriasis, when they have psoriasis, there's, 90% chance they have parasites, and that's part of what it's causing, even a higher percentage. And most doctors don't do a parasite test to see if the rashes on the skin, the skin is our largest organ, right?
Yeah.
And so it breathes. We have pores, right? And so when something comes out on the skin, it's because usually the liver can't handle it. The liver cannot handle and process any more toxins, so we'll see it on the skin. So that's a sign that there's toxins in the body, psoriasis. They could have candida, they could have parasites, and the stool should be tested.
With psoriasis, for example, I know people who have it or have had it, and it also their mood affects it somehow.
Their emotions affect it, definitely. Eating sugar affects it, definitely. But when you eat sugar, if you don't feel good, it could also be that it's feeding parasites. Parasites are fed by sugar. They love sugar in your body. And I have people have reactions from eating sugar that are not on the skin, and they just feel like there's something really, really wrong, and they don't have diabetes and they don't have hypoglycemia. So you need to look at those kinds of things. So any rashes on the skin, anything like that, we need to test. Now we can test blood tests, and you could see through monocytes, through eosinophils, through leukocytes, through different things on a blood test, we can approximate if a person has parasites. But because we can see that, but not what kind you have, and that's important to do a stool test to see.
And the stool test is the best way of finding?
That is the best way. And the interesting thing is that the parasites can be tested by saliva. Certain parasites that live in the gut can be tested by saliva, it's more accurate. If you're going to test for H. pylori, which is a bug and you can have cancer in your stomach from H. pylori.
Oh my.
It's in your digestive system. So the most accurate way to test it is with saliva to see for H. pylori, for toxoplasmosis, which is a house parasite, that house cat parasite.
Oh, that's the
Cats
one.
have them.
Is that the one that even domesticated cats have?
Yes,
that?
they
Right.
all genetically have it. They genetically have it. Even if they've never been out, they should all get tested for it.
And we have a friend who last year was babysitting a cat, had her own cat, and was breaking up the cat fight. Her cat bit her, and she didn't think much of it, and then it started swelling. And by the time she got to the doctor, she had to go into ICU. It was that serious, and it happened that fast.
Right.
And that's a parasite.
Mm-hmm. It's a parasite. Toxoplasmosis is a parasite. So, and a lot of people have it. That's one of the things that we test for when we're testing parasites right away is, in the first test, we want to find out if there's toxoplasmosis and H. pylori. So that's tested by saliva and by stool. So we take saliva specimens, and then we take stool specimens, and we want to have this be really accurate.
No, absolutely. And then the other thing that I thought about was, when I was in high school, we all had to read John Steinbeck, and he talked about the liver flutes in beef and all that. And you mentioned not eating raw beef or raw food, right? Sashimi is off the list now?
Yeah, I wouldn't eat that. I wouldn't eat anything especially because of the nuclear radiation, the Fukushima that's in fish.
But wouldn't that kill the...
Yeah, well, it could, you're right, it could kill the parasites, but
Yeah.
you really want that in your body.
No. Yeah, you don't want that. But you can't...
It may survive. They may survive actually, when you think, can parasites survive nuclear radiation? Think about it.
Yeah,
Probably.
well, it's like a cockroach, right?
Yeah.
The world will be, cockroaches will be here long after we are.
That's not in my mindset, but you can choose to keep that.
I'd like it not to be.
They say that sushi-grade fish is frozen for 48 hours before it's served. Does that kill the parasites, or can they live through that?
Good question.
They can live through that. And whoever says they're frozen, no, they want to sell fish. But I mean, if they're in ice and if they're up in the Greenland and they get frozen and then they become unfrozen, will they die or will they live? Well, I would think that what I've heard is they'll live.
And well, maybe they should be testing that sushi then.
Right, they should be testing everything, but so.
Yeah, getting that stool sample from the fish is a little tough.
Yeah.
Very good. I wish I had said that.
That would be your job, Mark. We
Yeah,
could help put you with
thank
the
you.
fish and make them give you a stool sample. There you go.
Okay, fishy.
So here's the thing is that even though parasites sound yucky and all of that, if it heals your body, if by dealing with them, by taking herbs, the right herbs for them, the right things for them, and by killing them, if that changes your life, which it does with people, then it's a good thing.
And what about where do they live? I mean, I mentioned Steinbeck and liver. So are there liver flukes?
There's liver flukes. There's all kinds of parasites, and they can all be killed without hurting the person. When you said where do they live, I was thinking about this little cottage down in Florida with a little sign on it. They live now away.
Parasites live here. I love that.
So the whole thing to think about is that doing something simple like doing a stool test with a saliva test to see if you have parasites, doing something simple can heal whatever disease you've been diagnosed with. Because when you're diagnosed with a disease, the majority of doctors will not test parasites. Now, if I were you, if you love your doctor, you want your doctor to help you, have them do a parasite test for you.
And that's any kind of doctor can do that.
Any kind of doctor can order that.
I mean,
any kind of
allopathic or
right.
alternative.
Right, and it's best to do the saliva test. It's the saliva and the stool together for the same parasites.
Gotcha. Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Do we all have these?
Yes, some of them. Sometimes, not every moment of your life. That people with a burdened immune system, someone with cancer, someone with HIV, someone with a low immune system is more susceptible to getting them and keeping them. But even someone healthy like me can get them. So depending if you eat out and you keep eating food that is not, even veggies.
Yeah, that's
Cook
amazing.
Cook them, steam them.
But raw carrots are so much better tasting to me.
They are. So then raw carrots, just stick it in a sink.
With peroxide.
Right. Any leafy vegetables are more likely to have them. Salads, kale, anything, even if they're organic. Leafy vegetables are more likely to have them.
And do you just rinse off, if you will, and soak the ones you're eating tonight? Can you leave the other ones in your refrigerator?
You can, and so you don't have. When you go shopping, you could soak them all at one time, and then put them away after they're dry, or you could just cleanse and wash the ones you're going to eat tonight. So you better call your cook tonight and tell her.
No, well, it's my turn.
We're really in trouble.
I know, we are in trouble. Because when I buy vegetables, I find that if I rinse them off and I dry them off and put them into the refrigerator, they seem to rot faster.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I don't do that. I bought some organic tomatoes. They were on sale. The little
tiny ones,
yeah.
Yeah.
Not cherry, they're even smaller than that, grape tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 baskets of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the baskets was gone in a few days. I mean, we ate them. But the other basket was also gone because it molded or rotted.
Quickly.
It was terrible.
Well, if you soak them in hydrogen peroxide and dry them off, water with hydrogen peroxide,
right.
Not just hydrogen peroxide, right? And then you dry them off and you let them dry off outside, just it should be fine. They won't mold as quickly.
And you tomatoes, one brand of tomato says, please don't refrigerate me, because
Right, you don't want to do that. It'll ruin
the tomato.
But going back now to parasites, we want to go back to that for a very good reason. I have had so many customers, clients, patients, whatever you want to call them, in whatever state you're living in whatever country you are in, right, to do the legal thing.
Yes.
I have seen people who were told they have cancer and the tumor, and I have seen that go away just by doing the tests for parasites, and see that they had worms, they had roundworms, we test for roundworms, everything. So I've seen things go away. I've also seen parasites come out, little worms come out of the skin. Yeah, I know, it's really gross. But that's because they're inside of your body, and you can kill them without hurting yourself. It'll take about 3 weeks.
How do you do that?
You do that with a combination of organic herbs that don't have parasites, because they're tested for mold and parasites before they're put into the capsules. And then the person does a cleanse, as well as they do the parasite formula. So you want to kill them, and you want to evacuate them from the body. You don't want to kill them and leave them. They're little dead bodies running around in your body.
They'd be like parasite ghosts.
Right.
You don't want that.
No, you want to kill them and move them out. Even colonics can be helpful in that situation.
Can you, at wellnesscenter.net, are there detoxes that would help eliminate the...
100%. They're used in hospital outpatient clinics for a multiplicity of reasons, including this reason. They will move all the toxins out without hurting the person.
Well, this is Natural Health Radio. I'm Mark Alyn, along with Dr. Teresa Dale, and we're talking about parasites. And if you have psoriasis and you need a test, there are a number of tests available at wellnesscenter.net. You don't need a doctor, do you?
Well, for that particular test, you would need to become a member, which is $20 a month, of our global membership, which it's a private membership association. And then you would be able to order that test. But the whole thing is, it's not if you just have psoriasis. If you have a burdened immune system and any disease that is related to a burdened immune system, okay, you definitely want to do that, because parasites can be in your joints. If you have joint problems, they can be everywhere in your body.
So
not just in your colon.
By burdened, you mean
an immune problem.
Or
Virus.
compromised immune system. Well, take a look at wellnesscenter.net. Wellnesscenter.net. I mean, there's everything there, from a rejuvenation kit for you, as well as the detoxes, and a variety of videos, audios, and just written material prepared by Dr. Teresa Dale and her staff. Go to wellnesscenter.net. Take a look at all the valuable information that is there. And then, in addition to the information, you can join the wellness.
It's a wellness optimization club, and it's a membership, so it's a private membership. So then when you join, you're not in the public anymore. You're part of our private wellness club.
Family.
And you're really our family, and that means you can communicate with me, you can get testing and whatever you need to do. And it's an educational site where you get audios and videos, protocols, you get all kinds of things to help yourself and your family.
And you also have the ability to buy a variety of homeopathic remedies that are available on the website as well. The website, again, is wellnesscenter.net, wellnesscenter.net.
Right, and doing a cleanse, we're talking about cleansing, is good no matter what you have, whether you have parasites, non-parasites, whether you hate spiders, love spiders, no matter what you have. If you want to detoxify your brain, Mark, if you want to detoxify all your cells in your body, then you want to do a cleanse at least once a year.
What kind
Every
of
6 months would be best.
What kind of a cleanse? Are we talking about a...
Well, I use a cleanse, and I invented a cleanse that is for cellular, and it's for the liver, detoxifies the liver and the colon and the kidneys, and pulls the toxins and little bodies of parasites and stuff out, and viruses and bacteria, just pulls them out. And so it strengthens the immune system. So it's a whole body cleanse. And that is the only kind you really want to use. You can imagine if you're doing a liver cleanse and you're not cleansing your kidneys have to deal with all of that stuff that's eliminated with your liver.
Right.
From your liver. So that's not a good thing. People have reactions from cleanses if they don't do all of the organs.
One of the things that is of interest to me is there are a lot of products called a cleanse, and you end up in a restroom for a day. Is that a good kind of a cleanse?
It depends.
Or longer, by the way.
Well, you shouldn't end up in a restroom unless it's planned. You know, it's like we have a cleanse that we can tell you in one day how many times you're going to need to visit the bathroom, and it's to help the body detoxify gallstones and kidney stones, and that's the purpose. But it's not all day, so we have a 30-day cleanse. That doesn't happen with it all, and then we have a whole body deep cleanse that works with the gallbladder and the kidneys to detoxify all of the stones. We want to do that.
Got it. And in detoxifying, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be pooping a lot.
No, detoxifying means when you do poop, when you do have a bowel movement, okay, that the toxins are going to come out. So they should be formed. Your stools should be formed, not loose, when you do a cleanse.
Now that's interesting, because a lot of times when you do a cleanse, you explode.
You explode. That's not the kind of things that we do. We want, it's like difficult saying this on air, but if I can get into my technical doctor mode where I train doctors, you want formed bowel movements, and you want to have 2 to 3 of them a day while you're doing the cleanse. That would be optimal, and that's the way the formulas are designed. What they're designed to do is to remove the toxins.
And what about...
And you feel better while you're doing it, not inconveniencing you or feeling worse.
What about regular bowel movement? Should you do the same thing 2 to 3 times a day?
Well, you should maybe do twice a day. Twice a day would be good. Morning and evening would be great. Morning and afternoon would be great. 8 o'clock in the morning is usually the time according to the 5-element theory of Chinese medicine. 8 o'clock in the morning is when you should poop, around that time, 7 and 9.
I'm trying to think.
Anyway, that's the time when your meridians are ready to do that.
I think I'm about a half hour off.
Everything is ready to do that.
I'm about a half hour off.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Thanks for letting us know your schedule. We'll check back with you on that.
Please don't call me at 7:30 in the morning. You can call me at 7. You can call me at 8. I just wanted you both to know that. As we're talking about parasites, do most people know that these little buggers are out there?
No, and they could be amoebic dysentery. That you'll know.
You would know that one.
It could be amoebic dysentery. It could be toxoplasmosis. You could get headaches. You could get so sick, have to go to the hospital from getting a house parasite. Or if you have cats, don't let them sleep on your pillow. Don't let them into your bedroom, because the kindest thing is to take them to a vet and get it tested to see if they have it.
Have you had cats? Are you a cat person or are you a dog person?
I love animals.
In general.
And I had a cat for a while. But the problem was my ex-husband, when I broke up with him, he bought me a cat. I mean, it was actually a better change. It was a much better change. But it really scratched
funny.
me. And yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
I traded up.
You traded up a potentially sick cat
Yes.
for your ex-husband.
It was a deal made in heaven.
I'm not often, as you know, tongue-tied. Mm-hmm. You have to pick up now because I'm tongue-tied.
So anyway, yes, and I adore dogs. I like cats. I rescued a little kitty once, years ago. I like animals. I like goats. I love all. If it
I
were
think
up
you
to
need
me,
a goat.
I would have. If it were up to me, and if I could do it, I would have a small, like a few acres where I could have a donkey,
Right.
and a goat, and 2 or 3 dogs. I would have animals. I love them. They are very sensitive, and they are so communicative if you just listen and open up your heart.
I have friends who had.
I'm glad.
I only have, other than you, I only have one other one. You know that.
And that's Daryl.
And that's Daryl. So I have an associate. Now, there was a family friend, a client, and they had a lot of acreage, and their kids, they didn't care about bugs or anything else. I had two bug stories, actually. The first was they decided to raise chickens, and they were raising them not to eat, but just for eggs. Uh-huh. And I thought that was kind of cool, and they had about, do you remember, 20 chickens or so? And they had eggs every day, and they were all different breeds, and the eggs were different colors and different sizes, but they were all organic because they
fed them organic.
They fed them organic and allowed them to roam free. Mm-hmm. And they also had, I thought they should have had a goat, or at least a small goat.
Well, farm animals, they're just so adorable and cute, and donkeys are very noisy, but animals have parasites and all kinds of things, so you need to have a vet check them out.
Yeah, and the eggs too can be.
A dog can have roundworms,
Oh,
and the
right.
eggs can have salmonella, and so that's why I when I buy eggs, I just put them all at the bottom of the sink. I put the water and throw a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in there and soak them.
Is that any kind of hydrogen peroxide?
No, food grade, 35%, 30 to 35%.
Where do you get that?
Very strong. You never want to touch it. It'll burn the skin right off of your hand.
Oh, my.
Yeah, you never want to touch it.
Can you get that
yes,
at a
you can
Whole
get that
Foods,
at health food.
at a health food store?
Yeah, not Whole Foods, but probably other ones, like smaller mom and pop ones.
Got it. Health food stores. Mm-hmm. Our guest, I'm the guest. Our co-host.
At this point, we're both the guests.
We
We've been
are
through
the
this
guest.
before.
Yeah, it's true. Dr. Teresa Dale.
Yes, don't forget, this is my show, Mark.
It is your show.
But you are an equal partner in this show. And
Well, thank you very much.
No bones about that.
Thank you very much. And I'm just here because I like to talk.
Yeah, he does. He likes to talk and talk about bugs and stuff. That's
Yeah.
great.
Ooh.
So you like that story about my ex-husband, right?
Yeah,
That
I
was
do.
fun. Well, that was the first one.
That was your first
Yeah, the first
ex-husband.
The second one, I was married twice, and the second one didn't give me an animal when we broke up.
What did he give you?
He didn't give me an animal or anything.
He gave you peace?
He gave me total peace, bliss and peace.
Would you be, off the subject, we only have a few minutes left. Would you get married again?
Yep, I would.
Would you?
But it would be, Jesus would have to come down and say,
be available.
This is the one.
Got it. I get it. That's very funny.
It's like, yeah, I would. I'm very open. I'm not closed to anything unless it's politics, certain politic things I might be closed to.
All right. We won't talk about politics.
We will not talk about that.
But the three of us all agree. You know that.
Yes, we all agree that we want an alien to come down and to
take us over.
Take us over.
No, actually, the three of us agree that an alien has come down and has taken us over.
Right.
Direct all your comments to Daryl.
Daryl's the one. Well, we want to thank you so very much.
I'll field those with a baseball bat.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We only got about 7 minutes left, and I think it's important to wrap this topic up.
Sure.
And just to know that anybody, no matter how rich you are, no matter how poor you are, no matter how demented you are, no matter what kind of politics you're into, everybody, including children, can get parasites. And most people have them at one time or another, and they may not know it.
And that's
and
the
they
part
may
that,
not know it. And if
yeah,
you
that's
take
the part
if you
that's
take
really
medications
scary.
and drugs, then your immune system will be more
Compromised.
susceptible and compromised, and you will get them easily.
Any kind of drug? I mean,
Any kind of drug is going to
affect the immune
affect
system.
your immune
I mean, I
system.
can understand
you have an innate
antibiotics.
Yeah, but you have an innate intelligence that knows exactly what to do if you do the right thing for it.
Right.
And a drug will only suppress the disease. There is no way that a drug is going to actually cure something. It is going to suppress the disease. And according to homeopathy and a whole system of homeopathic medicine called homotoxicology, it could suppress it for years. And that means if it's, it could come up again in the same form, only worse, or it could come up in another form.
So it's suppressed and then
Suppressed isn't curing.
and it comes back raging.
Raging, or it could be something slightly the same, but it'll have a little bit of a different component added to whatever it comes back as. So in other words, if you had pneumonia and you suppressed it, it could come back as a little twist might be lung cancer. A little twist might be something, like bronchitis, might be something different. Or it could be colon related because the lungs and the colon are in the same element. So if you have bronchitis and things like that, you should also see how your bowels are working.
Talking about bowels, what is your and parasites in the colon? What is your feeling about colonoscopies?
Well, that's an interesting one. I would not have one ever unless there was a sign, a symptom, or I tested it myself that I knew that would be the least harmful way that I would need to. What I would need to do. But I would say that everyone can learn if you're educated, and it's easy to become educated, okay? It really is easy, okay? You just have to read, you have to understand, you have to ask questions and learn about your body, about your colon, about different things. But I would say I would probably never do that unless I tested myself or I tested something and I said, okay, I'll go and do that.
And I would assume that's the same for an endoscopy, which is down into the stomach. Why would you not do that? Especially the colonoscopy.
Well, the thing is, for myself, I'm kind of a person that has been through a lot as far as health. That's
how you got into it.
That's how I got into it. So when I was in my late 20s, 30s, I was in Germany studying to be a naturopathic medical doctor, and Chernobyl blew up and I was poisoned. My whole body was poisoned with radiation. And then I got a parasitic fungus in my body called tinea from swimming in lakes in Texas. And then, I grew up having parasites. I know that. I always had, when I was a little kid, having parasites. But I've had a lot of different things.
You grew up in
New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
But I've never found, honestly, even, I tried this one thing. I only tried this one doctor in the last 40 years. I had an ear infection, and the whole mastoid in behind was swollen and painful, and my ear was swollen.
And it hurt.
And it hurt like crazy. But I didn't know homeopathy then. And I think I can do this in a few minutes. But So I tried strong drugs, antibiotics. It didn't make a difference. Nothing happened. Tried garlic, tried everything nutritionally, 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C, everything you can think of naturally, except I didn't know homeopathy and the drugs, and it didn't make a difference. And I did this for 2 months, and it didn't make a difference. And it was going to affect seriously my hearing.
Yeah.
Okay? So a friend of mine said, well, I'm going to Washington, D.C. to see this great naturopathic master from Greece, George Victukis. Would you like to go? We can go and see him. I said, well, I'm feeling a fever. I'm feeling okay. I'll go. So I didn't feel good. I go. In the first 15 minutes of his conversation, he started in front of a few hundred people. He started talking about this remedy called belladonna, homeopathic remedy called belladonna. And he started talking about the symptoms. He said, it's very good. It has a very interesting effect on the ear. And he talked about the right-sided mastoid severe ear infection. He said, for that, you need a 4C potency. And it was like God was talking to me. He said this. This is exactly what I have. So in a break, we had a break in the middle of the conference, and in the back he had all of the remedies for sale. So for $3, I bought a 4C homeopathic remedy of belladonna. It was a little vial. I took 5 of them, and within seconds it started draining. And that's when I decided that I would need to become a homeopath as soon as possible.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Well, you can have amazing reactions in a positive way from using homeopathy, and that's why I started studying it.
For people who have hearing issues, is belladonna something that they should try?
If it's right-sided, it's specifically helpful for right-sided remedies. It's used for that purpose, but it's used for that bad infections as well to the right-sided ear.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. And I look forward to having this show again next week. And many blessings to you and to everyone listening. And thank you, Daryl, very much. And we have 31 seconds more to go. Daryl, what do you have to say, Daryl?
Once again, a great show, very informative, and I think everyone should go check for parasites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Mark, you too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, check it out. And we're here to try to help everyone find resolutions to issues easily so that you feel empowered, that you have something that you can do in order to make your life better. And we want to thank you.